Oh, McQueen. Crazy McQueen. McQueen and I got along pretty good. McQueen looked at me kind of like an older brother.
James Garner, beloved actor and Hollywood legend, left behind an inheritance that no one expected to bring happiness. For decades, Garner was admired for his charm, talent, and larger-than-life presence on screen. But behind the glamour, his family faced challenges that the public rarely saw. Now, after his passing, it has become painfully clear that the legacy he left behind is far more complicated than anyone imagined. Despite his success, James Garner's wealth has not translated into security or peace for his loved ones. What many assumed would be a source of comfort, stability, and joy has instead become a source of tension, heartbreak, and hardship. The once idyllic perception of his family life has crumbled, revealing struggles that are emotional, financial, and deeply personal. The very inheritance that might have been a blessing now feels like a heavy burden. This story goes beyond dollars and possessions. It's about the hidden conflicts, the unspoken grievances, and the unexpected consequences of wealth in a family. Those closest to James have had to navigate disputes, emotional strain, and the daunting reality of a legacy that, instead of bringing relief, brought unforeseen difficulties. For fans and observers, this revelation is shocking, heartbreaking, and impossible to ignore. Tonight, we uncover the truth behind James Garner's inheritance and the challenges his family faces, revealing a story of heartbreak, conflict, and the sobering reality that wealth does not always equate to happiness. James Garner's life was one of undeniable charm, talent, and achievement. From iconic roles in television and film to becoming a household name, Garner carved out a legacy that many admired and aspired to emulate. Yet behind the screen, his family navigated a very different reality, one filled with complications, challenges, and emotional strain. While the public saw success, fame, and prosperity, the Garner family was quietly dealing with the complexities of wealth, inheritance, and the pressures that come when one member becomes larger than life. After James Garner passed away, it became clear that his financial legacy was not the source of relief or joy one might expect. Instead, his inheritance revealed cracks in relationships and unexpected tension among those closest to him. Money, while providing opportunities, also amplified disagreements and emotional disputes, leaving family members in a difficult position. What should have been a unifying force instead became a point of contention, testing bonds that were thought to be strong. Insiders report that navigating Garner's estate has been emotionally exhausting for his loved ones. Decisions regarding property, assets, and the distribution of wealth required delicate negotiation, yet even the best intentions were not enough to prevent conflict. Long-standing disagreements that may have been dormant during his lifetime resurfaced, fueled by financial stakes and differing expectations. For a family already coping with the grief of losing a beloved patriarch, these disputes added layers of stress and uncertainty. The emotional toll of the inheritance extends beyond money. Family members have struggled with feelings of resentment, confusion, and loss. What was once a symbol of security has, in many ways, become a reminder of vulnerability, highlighting the fragility of relationships when money and legacy are involved. Garner's life, though celebrated for talent and charisma, left behind a complex landscape that no amount of fame or success could simplify. Even those outside the family can see the impact. Fans and observers are surprised by reports of discord and the challenges that wealth can bring, especially when coupled with emotional bonds that are already complicated by fame and public expectation. The Garner family story reminds us that inheritance, while often romanticized, carries responsibilities and pressures that can affect even the most seemingly fortunate families. James Garner himself, during his life, emphasized simplicity, hard work, and personal values over material wealth. Yet, as is often the case, the distribution of assets after one's passing can inadvertently expose rifts and reveal hidden challenges. What was meant to secure the family's future has, in reality, placed them in a position of navigating difficult emotional terrain, a journey that is often unseen by the public eye. The story of James Garner's inheritance is not just about money, it's about the human consequences of legacy, the unexpected burdens of fame, and the emotional complexities that come with managing wealth after loss. While his life remains celebrated for remarkable achievements, The reality his family now faces serves as a sobering reminder that material wealth alone does not guarantee happiness, peace, or familial harmony. The challenges James Garner's family faces go far beyond financial matters. Emotional strain has compounded the difficulties, making every decision about the inheritance emotionally charged. Family members must navigate delicate dynamics, balancing grief, loyalty, and their personal needs while also addressing legal and financial obligations. For a family already mourning the loss of a beloved father and husband, this period has become unexpectedly complex, highlighting the hidden pressures that often accompany substantial legacies. Reports suggest that disputes over assets, property, and control of the estate have created tension among siblings and relatives. Even when intentions are good, differing opinions and expectations can escalate conflicts. Decisions that seem straightforward in theory, how to divide belongings, manage investments, or honor the wishes of James Garner, become emotional battlegrounds. These disputes, though private, carry public consequences, as the Garner family's story is closely watched by media outlets and fans alike, adding an additional layer of scrutiny to already stressful situations. The emotional toll is visible in personal accounts from those close to the family. Even everyday interactions are now tinged with caution, as the burden of inheritance has reshaped relationships and tested bonds. What was once simple affection between family members is now interwoven with strategy, consideration, and sometimes resentment. The very wealth that should have provided comfort has, paradoxically, become a source of friction and unease. Financial pressure also amplifies personal anxiety. Managing an estate of this scale requires careful planning, legal guidance, and constant attention to detail. Mistakes or misunderstandings can have lasting consequences, which adds a layer of stress to a grieving family. Emotional decisions are often intertwined with financial ones, creating an environment where even small disagreements can escalate. Garner's legacy, meant to secure a future, has inadvertently created a complicated landscape that requires diplomacy, patience, and resilience. Furthermore, the public perception of the Garner family contrasts sharply with their internal reality. Fans may assume that wealth equates to security and happiness, but the family's experience reveals a different story. Emotional strain, disagreements, and the burden of responsibility highlight that fame and fortune do not insulate loved ones from hardship. In some ways, the public scrutiny intensifies these challenges, as every decision and conflict becomes a subject of speculation, adding stress to an already delicate situation. Despite the difficulties, family members are making efforts to honor James Garner's legacy while managing the practical realities of inheritance. They are striving to uphold his values, respect his wishes, and maintain relationships even in the face of tension. It is a delicate balancing act, requiring emotional intelligence, patience, and a willingness to compromise. The process is far from simple, but it demonstrates the complexities of managing wealth after the passing of a loved one, even for those who grew up in privilege. Ultimately, the story of James Garner's inheritance serves as a cautionary tale. It reminds us that financial wealth, while valuable, cannot replace emotional understanding, strong communication, or family harmony. Managing a legacy requires more than money. It requires empathy, transparency, and the ability to navigate human emotions under pressure. The Garner family's experience illustrates the fragile intersection of fame, fortune, and family life, revealing the hidden challenges that often accompany the inheritance of both wealth and legacy. Even with careful planning, James Garner's inheritance has brought unforeseen emotional consequences for his family. Relationships that once seemed stable are now strained under the weight of responsibility, expectations, and differing priorities. Siblings and extended family members must constantly navigate sensitive discussions about asset division, property management, and fulfilling the late actor's wishes. Each decision carries emotional significance, which makes even routine estate matters feel like high-stakes negotiations. The process has been especially challenging for those closest to Garner. They are mourning not just the loss of a loved one, but also confronting the complicated legacy he left behind. The pressures of managing finances, honoring promises, and maintaining family harmony intersect in ways that can create tension and stress. Even small disagreements are magnified when the stakes involve both emotional and financial matters. In this environment, it is easy for conflict to take root, despite good intentions. Additionally, the inheritance has revealed disparities in perception versus reality. Outsiders may see the Garner family as fortunate, assuming wealth provides comfort and security. However, the truth is far more complex. Emotional strain, disagreements, and the constant weight of responsibility demonstrate that financial wealth does not automatically ensure peace or happiness. For the family, managing the estate has become a lesson in patience, negotiation, and resilience, an emotional challenge that requires careful balance between personal desires and family obligations. Legal and financial obligations also add layers of difficulty. Managing a substantial estate requires careful planning, consultation with attorneys and financial advisors, and adherence to both the law and James Garner's wishes. Any oversight, intentional or accidental, can intensify disputes or create further tension. For a grieving family, these practical requirements become intertwined with emotional stress, amplifying the impact of every decision. What should have been a straightforward inheritance has evolved into a complicated journey that tests familial bonds at every turn. The emotional consequences are compounded by public scrutiny. As a beloved Hollywood figure, Garner's family is often in the spotlight, and every move regarding the estate is subject to media attention. Rumors, speculation, and commentary from outsiders add pressure to an already tense situation. Family members are not only managing grief and responsibility, but also navigating the perception of the public eye, which can make honest, private conversations feel impossible, despite the challenges. There are efforts to preserve unity and honor James Garner's memory. Family members are striving to communicate openly, make compromises, and respect the intentions of the late actor. The process requires empathy, understanding, and the ability to balance emotions with practicality. It is an ongoing journey, one that highlights how even substantial wealth cannot replace emotional intelligence, care, and patience within a family. Ultimately, the situation underscores a difficult truth. Wealth can complicate life just as much as it can enhance it. The Garner family's experience serves as a reminder that inheritance is not simply about money or property. It carries emotional, relational, and psychological weight that can be just as challenging to navigate. Their story is a testament to the complexities of legacy, illustrating how fame and fortune often come with hidden pressures that impact even the closest bonds. The final reality of James Garner's inheritance is far from the fairy tale many imagined. What was expected to bring comfort and stability has, instead, revealed the challenges of managing legacy, relationships, and wealth simultaneously. Family members are tasked with navigating emotional strain while honoring the wishes of a beloved patriarch, a process made even more complicated by differing expectations, personal ambitions, and the pressures of public scrutiny. The inheritance, meant to be a blessing, has tested bonds and revealed vulnerabilities that were previously hidden. Grief amplifies every decision. Losing a parent is difficult in itself, but combining mourning with the responsibilities of managing an estate adds layers of stress that can strain even the closest relationships. Every conversation about property, finances, or family decisions carries the weight of emotion. Misunderstandings, miscommunications, and small disputes can escalate, leaving lingering tension that affects daily interactions. For the Garner family, this process has been a delicate balancing act, one that requires empathy, patience, and continuous negotiation. Public perception adds another layer of complexity. Fans and media often assume that wealth guarantees ease, happiness, and security. Yet the Garner family's experience contradicts this assumption. While the inheritance provides financial resources, it also brings responsibilities, emotional challenges, and interpersonal pressures that cannot be resolved with money alone. Managing a legacy is as much about emotional intelligence and family cohesion as it is about finances. And the family has had to learn this reality firsthand. Efforts to maintain unity and honor James Garner's life are ongoing. Family members are working to communicate more effectively, resolve conflicts, and respect the intentions of the late actor. Despite the tension, there are moments of connection, understanding, and shared purpose. These glimpses of harmony are a reminder that even in challenging circumstances, commitment, empathy, and love can help navigate difficult transitions. The process, though painful, also serves as a testament to the resilience and perseverance of those left behind. Ultimately, James Garner's Inheritance is a story about the limits of wealth and the complexities of human relationships. It demonstrates that financial resources, while important, cannot replace emotional connection, understanding, or strong family bonds. His legacy challenges the assumption that inheritance automatically leads to happiness and illustrates how fame, fortune, and family obligations intersect in ways that are often unpredictable and emotionally taxing. The reality facing his family today is sobering, yet it also carries lessons for others. It shows that managing legacy requires more than planning, it requires empathy, open communication, and a willingness to navigate conflict with care. The Garner family's journey reminds us that wealth can complicate life as much as it can improve it, and that emotional resilience is essential in confronting the pressures of loss, inheritance, and public scrutiny. In the end, James Garner's life remains celebrated for his talent, charisma, and achievements. But the story of his inheritance adds a complex layer to his legacy. It is a cautionary tale, highlighting the human side of wealth and the emotional challenges that come with it. While his passing marked the end of an era, the journey of his family illustrates the ongoing impact of legacy, the mix of blessings and burdens that wealth can leave behind, and the resilience required to navigate the consequences of both.